Good evening, Somers, and welcome to the Somers Town Board regular meeting, Thursday, May 9th, 2019. If you'd please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and be seated. Patty, roll call.
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here?
Councilman Richard G. Flinching. Supervisor Rick Morrissey.
Present.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico. Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Thank you. All right, our first order of business this evening is to conduct two public hearings. I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Patty, publishing and posting.
It was published on the Town Clerk's Bulletin Board and in the Somers Record on April 25th.
Okay, and the first hearing is on the proposed fee schedule for the Amlock Shadow Rock Water District and the Windsor Farm Water District and the Amlock Heights Water District. So just a little preface, these are water rates that are being imposed. It's like a trickle-down effect. New York City sells us water. It goes to the Northern Westchester Joint Water Works, whose rates get bumped up, and that gets passed along to the consumer, which is the town of Somers. So is there anyone here for comment at the public hearing on the proposed fee schedule? Seeing and hearing no one, I will make a motion to close the public hearing for the Water District fee schedule.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And Ron, we vote on that?
Sure,
Fee
yes.
schedule?
Yep.
And would that be a roll call?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the proposed fee schedule for the water districts.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
All right, is this sent out to people in the district, or does it go on the website, or
All of the above.
all of them?
Yeah.
Good.
And that's Adam sends it out. The second public hearing is the proposed conservation easement for Merritt Park subdivision. Publishing and posting on that, Patty?
That was published on the Town Clerk's Bulletin Board. It was posted on the Town Clerk's Bulletin Board and published in the Somers Record on April 24th.
Thank you. Okay, so did I open that? Did I open the public hearing? All right, I make a motion to open the public hearing on proposed conservation easement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Anyone here to comment on the proposed conservation easement for Merritt Park? Okay, just a little history on that. This is I think it's about a 23 home subdivision up off of Lovell Street, and they're giving the town a conservation easement for the acreage along along Lovell Street, which will forever remain a wooded area. So this is a good thing for the town. So I'll make a motion to close.
Before you do, the only comment I would have is that today you should have received the baseline study
Yes.
from Steve and Saret, and what that does is it simply gives a picture or pictures and some narrative on what's out there now, so that if 10, 20 years from now someone infiltrates the site and cuts down trees or does some damage to the protected steep slopes, you have a record of what you took as against the damage which occurred, and of course you have rights to enforce remediation. So that should be kept in the same file as the conservation easement,
Okay.
as a permanent record.
Yeah, and I would also mention that this now goes on our list of conservation easements, and our Somers Land Trust and the Open Space Committee are stewards of those easements, and the Westchester Land Trust on an annual basis, or I don't know if it's every year, but they come out and visit
Yeah.
to just do what you mentioned.
And how far back does that go
Hmm?
from the road? I'm trying to,
You know, here's
Varies a little bit.
no, I'm saying it doesn't go here, look.
Right here.
It doesn't go all the way back to here, does it? This isn't the whole.
no, it's just the
It's just right off the
just
road.
that buffer.
Okay, good.
Okay. And we'll add that to the file so we can track that in the future. All right, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And make a motion to adopt the conservation easement for the Merritt Park subdivision.
Second.
Accept, it should be accept the conservation easement.
Accept the conservation easement. All right, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, moving on to public comment. I'll make a motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Anyone here for public comment? Line forms to
To your
your
left.
right, my left. Seeing and hearing no one, I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, the next order of business, department reports. Patty?
I have reports from the town clerk, building inspector, zoning board of appeals, plumbing, Bureau of Fire Prevention, Parks and Recreation, planning and engineering, tax receiver, and director of finance.
Thank you. Next order of business is Parks and Recreation. I have a number of add-ons. One is the request permission to accept a proposal for the supervisor to execute a contract with Jim's Driveway Sealing and Paving in the amount of $6,550 for parking lot striping in Reese, Van Tassel, and the townhouse parking lots.
Mentioned that these are in
And
He did.
okay, so motion to approve
Second.
or motion to accept. All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
So moved. The second add-on, which I really don't like to do these things, but when they come in, and these are timely projects, so they missed the last Thursday deadline, so that's why I'm accepting these because they're exceptions. So request permission to accept the proposal from for the supervisor's execution of the contract with Garen Fencing on the amount of $16,650 for parking safety guardrail installation at Reese Park.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And finally, one more add-on from the building department. And you'll see right now the reason why I do have add-ons. This is a memo from our building department. Permission is being requested to solicit requests for proposals to repair the leaking roof at the rec center in Van Tassel Park. All right, second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Okay, now we're under town board business. First is our MS4 presentation. Our planner, Saret Dim, will be presenting the report for past year.
Good evening, Supervisor and members of the board. I'm here once again to present the annual municipal stormwater report. As usual, I have prepared this with input from several of the town departments, including the Highway Department, Parks Department, Engineering, etc. They provide input related to the work that they do on this type of work throughout the year. And as you know, the town, because of its situation in the New York City watershed, has a major responsibility to reduce phosphorus within its stormwater runoff, and that is what is monitored throughout the MS4 report. So I provided you with two major items, one which is a draft cover letter, the report itself, and a PowerPoint printout, which is a summary really of the overall report that I'd like to just take you through some of the main points on. I don't need to remind you of what the hydrology of Somers is. You certainly know all of the watershed basins and the lake communities that this area is known for.
Yeah, I think it's, because I quote this all the time, the town of Somers sits between 4 different watershed basins. And what does that mean? That means that we are constrained for how much land we can use privately, commercially. And in town, we have a regulation of a 100-foot buffer from any watercourse. So if you have a stream running through your property, you have to mark off 100 feet from that before you put up a shed or an addition to your house or pool. Didn't mean to interrupt, but that's.
But the
yeah,
100
that's
foot is
available.
a buffer, so you do have the ability to go to the zoning board and to do some remediation in that if needed. They can say yes or no, but you work with the zoning board on that.
Right, and in addition, obviously, because of the sensitivity of the reservoirs in this area, et cetera, and the town is part of a retrofit program to improve water quality, and a lot of projects, and we'll get to those in the end, are taken in order to provide enhanced, because we are required to provide enhanced water quality. Different areas have different quality concerns. The town has now taken ownership of Lake Shenorock, for which, as all the board knows, a recent stormwater retrofit project has been completed to improve the quality of runoff from Lake Shenorock. Right tonight, I'm not there, but the lake communities, the 3 lake communities that we've been meeting with, both Woodard and Curran and myself have been meeting with under the supervision of the supervisor for identification of projects and programs that can enhance those lake communities. There's a meeting happening tonight at Lake Shenorock, and Woodard and Curran is going to be explaining the next step, which is a program hopefully that will be getting funded for Lake Shenorock. I mean, Lake Lincolndale.
So the Lake Shenorock project, I don't know if you're going to talk about it later, but the Lake Shenorock project that we've just done, the goal is that now every year the water quality should improve because things that are going in there last year are now going to be caught, filtered, and all that. So every year it's going to just get progressively better.
Right, and that's what we're hoping to accomplish in this next round at Lake Lincolndale.
Good.
All of these watersheds are phosphorus restricted. They're on state priority water body lists. The program itself, the general MS4 program, has 6 requirements, and we're required to report on what the town does to meet the requirements of each of those. First one is in public education. Whether or not on construction sites people are educated as to how to meet those. That's why Steve Woofel is constantly at all of the construction sites monitoring what goes on in terms of construction and water quality. That is why people are taking courses in different departments on an annual basis in terms of training. Public involvement. The public involvement comes in a couple of ways. The town has several cleanup campaigns in the spring. It had 2 this year. And in addition, there was a recycling day held by the Somers PTA with city carting. Part of all of those are then the gathering of all kinds of debris, and we report how much of that debris was collected as part of this report. 100 bags of garbage was collected during the spring cleanup event, and that's sponsored by the town with the Somers Litter Task Force. The other thing that's monitored is illicit discharges, detection, and elimination. When our office gets any of those reports, that's what Steve Woofel goes out and examines and reports on and makes sure that it is corrected. Of all the outfalls in the town are mapped. 20 outfalls were dry weather screened. And during this reporting year, which goes March to March, 2018 to 19, there were 2 illicit discharges that were identified. One of these things, I was able to get last minute information, and I see that I have to change something on one of the pages, but we have been able to identify the septic systems that were cleaned during the reporting generally the reporting period. The information was available basically on the 2018 calendar year, and septic systems under 1,000 cubic feet, I think it is, I'll check, was 1,027, which is about the general amount, somewhere between 900 and 1,000 get cleaned out every year in the town.
All right, and that's, we have a MS4 regulation law that says you have a septic system, it has to be pumped out every 5 years.
Yes.
Have we been tracking that?
Yeah, we get data from the county.
Oh, from the county, okay.
Usually that data is very late, but we were able to get it. The post-construction control that has to do with the stormwater pollution prevention plans during construction. Those are monitored through the planning board process. It's part of the approvals of all projects. 5 SWIPs were reviewed during this reporting period, and public comments are always received on those. In terms of ongoing work in the town, there were 4 construction projects that were authorized for disturbance of 1 acre or more, and those are the ones that are subject to the SWIP. And there are 6 active projects under construction in the town during this period. In terms of what happens after projects are constructed and how they are monitored, this is information we get from the Highway Department, but essentially they monitor and go out, and there were 5 and the Parks Department as well. 5 infiltration basins, 3 open channels, and 10 other practices were inspected and maintained during the year. 31 area catch basins were inventoried, inspected, and maintained. In terms of the parking lots, one of the questions they ask is what number of parking lots are swept. In the town, they are not swept, but there are large blowers used for both the municipal parking lot and Reese parking lot, and those are done numerous times during the year. Streets are swept, and those are monitored and reported by the Highway Department.
Charette, the parking lot here and the one at Reese, the pervious surface, the blower is the general, because I remember I thought there was some special equipment that they had to come use to make sure it didn't get clogged up and all that. Is that what they're using?
That's apparently the giant blowers that they're using.
Okay.
Yeah, besides the regular sweeping with those street sweepers that shoot water and just swirl around, they blow it to get since it's pervious, to get the dirt and stuff
And for those people in
up
town
and out.
who may have forgotten, we used a grant to get both Reese Park and our parking lot done with the pervious asphalt. So again, more environmentally friendly and helps us with.
Yeah, rainwater does not run across it. falls through it into the ground.
Doesn't pool.
And also, we're part of this watershed improvement program through EOH, the East of Hudson projects, and they've given an update of the projects. There was a first 5-year project. We're now in year 6, 7, and 8, and they're continuing to do projects in active design, and the things that this town does gets counted towards the ones that they do overall. Such as the retrofit at Lake Shenorock. So that is really the overview of what this MS4 report covers. If there are any questions.
All right, well, just, no, thank you for putting this together for us every year. We're mandated to report it, and we're under MS4 regulations with DEC. But just for a moment, speaking of the project that was just completed over in Shenorock, that was an $850,000 grant that we received from New York State. And the stormwater facilities that were put in, as Deputy Supervisor Garrity mentioned, filters all the road runoff that previously went into the lake, so none of that's going in. And in addition to that $850,000 from the state, the town had to have a percentage match. And that match was met through the EOH that Saret just mentioned. They were interested in the fact that now there's going to be a reduction of phosphorus in the lake. So that's another, I think that was another $250,000 that was contributed to this project, once again, at no taxpayer expense. So once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to item number 2 on our town board agenda. Earlier in the month, we declared Somers National Historic Month, Preservation Month in the town of Somers, and we acknowledge the following town of Somers historical anniversaries, which occurred in the month of April. The town in 1808, the town acquired its present name in honor of Captain Richard Somers, a hero of the Tripoli War. Prior to that, our town was known as Stevenstown, and once we found out that there was another Stevenstown upstate, the town of Somers researched and adopted Captain Richard Somers. His birthplace is Somers Point, New Jersey. And out in the hall here, we have a key to Somers Point, the town of Somers Point, New Jersey. The supervisor there came up here and presented the then supervisor with the key to the city. The other noteworthy anniversary that happened in April 1st, 1967, Somers is designated as the cradle of the American circus by the U.S. Post Office. So we have our own stamp that was dedicated to the town, recognizing the town as the cradle of the American circus. Very proud of that. At the last meeting, I did mention that we'd like to arrange a tour for the town board, town clerk, receiver's office of our historical properties in town. As I've learned, some of us have not been in all of our historic properties, namely the Tomahawk Chapel. It's kind of forgotten, but it's over there on Tomahawk Street in 118. And what's very unique about that chapel, it has a honeycombed dome ceiling inside when you go in it. And that's not to be outdone by Mount Zion Church right in our Reese Park. That is a beautiful, well-maintained church of the period. And it's people have been married out of there, actually.
1700s.
Yeah, it's we're very rich in our historical properties. Any comments from our historical folks?
You two.
We're very informal here.
I'm sorry?
I said we're very informal at our meetings.
Yes, well, that's,
You can
yes.
just step to the mic though.
Okay. I'm Susan Cody. This is Nola Blair. We serve on the board of the Friends of the Library. We are also part of the Race Amity gatherings. And I wanted to meet with you this evening to update you on what are the results of the proclamation that you gave us last year
Mhm.
and the activities that have sort of accrued from that. We were able to meet once a month at the library to discuss the process of building friendships. And we started out with about 6 or 8 people the first month. And the most well-attended gathering that we've had so far was 45.
Oh, well.
But we have a pretty steady attendance of around 25 people every month.
Yeah, now you have an event that's,
Yes, we would love to have another proclamation. We have the annual Race Amity Day celebration. We've reserved the pavilion at Reese Park. We're going to have an international potluck picnic.
oh, nice.
And I'm hoping to have some entertainment. I was speaking with the keyboardist from the Ronald Reggae Band that played at the 4th of July last year.
Okay.
And he offered to, he's one of my former students, I teach piano. And he offered to invite that band to play for us. And we're looking at other forms of entertainment for the event as well.
And what date are you looking to do that?
That will be Sunday, June 9th. It's always the second Sunday of June, and we would love to have the proclamation, the word annually, added to the proclamation.
Okay.
As an outgrowth of this, I want to let you know, because of our celebration and the activities that have followed, there is a group in Poughkeepsie that has decided to also have a Poughkeepsie Race Amity Day celebration. There is a group in Yonkers which has asked us to meet with them to help them establish monthly discussions with the goal of their having a celebration in Yonkers next year. We're hoping to approach the county executive for a proclamation. I heard Senator Harkin speak at the event that was held at the Muslim Center in Mohegan Lake shortly after that terrible Christchurch event. And he sounded so universal, so into everything that Race Amity is about, that our plan is to approach him about the possibility of his sponsoring legislation in the state Senate to proclaim a state holiday. So that is one of our goals, is to reach the state
Do
and
you have
eventually
a contact there?
no, we do not yet.
You could probably check with us because we can get you one.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That's great. I've also wanted to let you know that the I'll think of the word. It'll come to me. The Interfaith Council of Somers and Yorktown has approached us as well about one of the things that we did was to show the 3-part PBS series called Race, The Power of an Illusion. And they have asked us to meet with them and to show that series in 3 different houses of worship and lead the discussions the next fall. So this is all an outgrowth of
So this
what you've
is,
done.
it's a national effort, isn't it?
Yes, it's a national effort. And Somers is really the first town to proclaim it as a town holiday. And so our little town is at the forefront of this national movement for New York State.
We're glad to do so.
Yeah. And we're thrilled that you are.
Wait, thank you.
Thank you.
Next month, the next month.
Oh, yes, this next month, this month, on the 19th, we're going to meet at the library at 2 p.m. We're going to watch the TED Talk by Christian Piccolini. Christian Piccolini was seduced into the neo-Nazi national, white nationalist movement as a teenager. And after several years in that movement, had a complete change of heart and has since dedicated his life to helping others leave the movement. And so we're going to watch his TED Talk and then have a discussion led by Professor Eugene Ritchie, who leads the TED Talk discussions at the library monthly.
Yeah, we put those TED Talks and a lot of the activities at the library on our website.
Yes.
So for the public, you can always go to somersny.com and go to events and all your events, the ME
Yes.
Day, June 9th,
Jane Knight.
and this presentation will be on there.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for taking the time to come in and tell us about that.
Our pleasure.
Okay, moving to item number 3. This was a long and arduous endeavor. This is our property maintenance law. We've had our public hearing. We at the point where we're ready to adopt local law to amend Chapter 135 of the Code of the Town of Somers, entitled Property Maintenance, by adding Article 2, Section 135-8, entitled Regulation of Bamboo. So is that a roll call?
Yes, but first adopt a negative declaration.
So I make a motion to adopt a negative declaration.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And then I make a motion to adopt a local law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Councilman William G. Faulkner,
Aye.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchie, Supervisor Rick Marcy,
Aye.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirica, Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll make my bi-monthly appeal for volunteers. As you well know, if you ever watched the town board meeting, this town is run by its volunteers, starting with our local boards, our community groups, our religious groups that are out there. That's what makes this town what it is. So if you're wondering how to get more involved in the town, please come out. There's vacancies on our Affordable Housing Board, our Partners in Prevention, and you'd be most welcome if you volunteer for those boards and committees. Okay, moving on to personnel. Wrong personnel. Okay, I'd like to acknowledge the promotion of Jose Yanza from road maintenance maintainer to motor equipment operator at an hourly pay rate of $34.62 per memo dated April 29th from Thomas E. Cheverini, Superintendent of Highways, effective April 29th. And also to authorize the provisional promotion of Mr. Greg Maroney to a water maintenance worker grade 2, full-time in the Water District Department for 35 hours a week, and in accordance with the CSEA contract, Appendix B will move to grade 4A, Step 6, at an annual salary of $56,697 per memo dated April 19th from Adam Smith, Water Superintendent, effective April 29th. Final personnel.
I second it.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And last item is an add-on. Based on some occurrences at our highway department, we find it necessary to terminate employee number 098692. And this is to advise the town board. I have determined to terminate that employee who violated the town's workplace violence policy by his actions on February 28, 2019. I further determined that the appropriate penalty is termination from employment with the town of Somers effective May 10th. So with that, I'm going to ask for authorization to send the employee number 098692 to notify you that effective May 10th, your employment with the town is terminated for violating the town's workplace violence policy. And this is a true demonstration of zero tolerance of violence in the workplace. So I'd like to make a motion.
That requires a roll call.
Roll call. Okay.
Councilman William G. Faulkner,
Aye.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchy, Supervisor Rick Morrissey,
Aye.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico, Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
So moved.
Yep.
Unfortunate, but necessary. Okay, under planning and engineering, for review and comment is the Heritage Hills West Drive wetland application. And basically what this is a repair of one of their water courses. It's an archway that goes under a roadbed. And the only comment I would really have back to the planning board is when this applicant comes before them, that they reiterate that the fact that they do have, besides doing this repair, that they should be maintaining their stormwater ponds all throughout
Yes.
Heritage Hills. A lot of them are in disrepair, and instead of waiting for failures like this wetland permit is referenced to, maintenance is always a better way to go.
Saves you money in the long run.
Yeah, it does. All right, so that would be the comment, back to them.
I have none.
And our consensus agenda, 1 through 8. Any discussion on any of those?
No.
We have a couple of hires in there. We're setting a public hearing for the proposed conservation easement for the Mitchell subdivision at 197 Tomahawk.
Now that one too, you might ask Saret and Steve to take care of the baseline study so that you have that at the time of the public hearing.
Okay. Good point.
As discussed.
Okay. Think it's necessary to go through those consensus items?
We talked about it.
Okay, if there's no further issues or discussion on consensus agenda, items 1 through 8, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, which brings us to our town board announcements. And since our town clerk was not at work this week, but away at,
Oh, I work.
Oh.
I said not at work, not at
Saying
work at
we're
the
not
town
working.
house.
Everybody
Didn't
hold the
say we're
mics
not
down.
working, we're not.
At
Yeah, so
work.
I'm just getting her.
Let me repeat that. She was not in her office in the townhouse, but she was away at a
Very important conference, yes.
And if Roland has seen any of his clerks, they will attest to how hard I worked.
We know.
So-
Indeed, indeed.
If I might trouble you for taking care of our announcements.
Sure.
Go.
Okay, so let me start by saying all these announcements will be available on our town website, again, www.somersny.com. Okay, so Somers Annual Spring Townwide Cleanup is in full effect April 1st to June 1st. St. Luke's Church is having their annual spring plant sale from May 4th to May 12th at St. Luke's. The Town of Somers Annual Memorial Day Parade and Remembrance Ceremony will be held Monday, May 27th at 10 o'clock. Kickoff is at 10. Lineup is at 9:30, so everybody be at. Is it?
Somers.
Yeah, that's the one that's down at
Somers Intermediate.
Somers
Middle
Middle
School.
School.
You should let me first. Be at the middle school by 9:30 for lineup and
That's no fun.
10 o'clock kickoff. A screening of Resilience, the Biology of Stress and Science of Hope is going to be May 28th at the Somers Library. That's presented by Partners in Prevention. Getting a U.S. passport is getting easier. Westchester County Clerk is coming to Reese Park on June 11th. That's a Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Save the date. Somers Independence Day Block Party is going to be held on June 29th at the Sebastian Capitol campus. Get your tickets because they're going to sell out.
They sold out last year, so.
Bigger and better than last year.
Good job.
Thank you.
It's spring.
And I do want to
That could
mention
still be on
for
the
the
first line.
viewing audience, the town board and now the town clerk, we do this as a public service because all this information is always available at somersny.com. So our next regularly scheduled meeting will be our work session, which will be held on June 6th, 7 p.m. right here at the townhouse. So, any other comments, concerns, announcements? Yeah, Bill?
One comment of congratulations. It was just 4 short years ago that the class of 2015 graduated from Somers High School. Again, one of the first classes to ever graduate 100% of everybody who started in that grade as a freshman. Many of them are graduating college this month. How time flies, but we're proud of you and congratulations.
Very cool. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Good night, Somers.
Good night.